This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The following will contain strong language, adult themes, and Mara. You go. Now let's get on with the show.
Hi, we saying it's Nelle.
Hi guys, what's goody? It's Tammie.
Hey, it's your girl Mara.
And this is the Not Too Much podcast. If you know,
you know.
Well, hi guys.
We got to think of new ways to start.
Well, I always feel like it's good for the first part of the podcast, just to get everyone
Hey.
acclimated.
Hola.
Say hi.
Bonjour.
Do a wellness check.
You
Ciao.
said hi like 50 times before we
Yeah,
get
you know, it's part of routine now.
Hola,
Okay.
¿cómo estás?
here. Right, we have heard
What's going on?
all the...
I'm going to give you alternatives now. So, yeah. I'll do my episode in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But yeah, obviously, it is another morning recording. So, full disclaimer. Yeah, that's one side of the podcast. On this third of it, yeah, we're tired over here. So just full disclaimer, people. But I'm just going to get right into it and ask the question I've been wanting to ask.
Oh, scary.
It's about pick-me's.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the term is overly used or not used enough?
Round them up.
Oh, that's interesting. Overly used or not used enough?
I think it's not used enough in the right context. Oh.
Why were you gagged at yourself?
Oh, I was gagged because of what I said, but also I'm croaking. What the hell? Hold on. Fuck, I look like hoe.
So why do you think that?
Huh?
Why
do you think your opinion?
I think it is used in a bit of like a... Like, I don't know.
Because how would we define it first off?
A pick-me.
me.
We've defined a pick-me before, no?
Yeah, but for this episode,
Yeah.
for the purposes of this episode.
Alright, someone else take the mic. Then
You were like, someone else could go do that.
I'm not doing the definition.
Well, for me, my kind of personal social understanding of a pick-me girl, specifically a pick-me girl, is an individual who lacks self-worth outside of male validation.
What about pick-me boy?
Pick-me girls lack self-worth out of male validation, and so their actions are driven by the need to get that external male validation. Pick-me boys are different because of the patriarchy. So I find that a lot of them are trying to subvert masculine kind of typical characteristics in order to manipulate situations normally, and I'm talking in a sort of heterosexual kind of dynamic, to dupe the girl. So there are differences between...
but both, wouldn't the commonality be both are rooted in misogyny? No.
And we get deep into it.
But do you think that, going back to my question, like, especially you now, because I'm not sure if you answered it, whether you feel like the term is overly used or under?
Terms are always overly used for me. Because most of the time people don't know what they mean. So I feel like this is not exclusive to just pick-me's. But in the context of this, yeah, I do think it's overly used, because sometimes you've got to use stronger words to describe girls' actions.
Not what?
Misogynist, point blank. Pick me, the phrase pick me to me is like an entry level term. It's the term that you first start using because it kind of is a casual way to address really serious topics.
Yeah.
It is overly used, but I don't...
so you feel like the danger in being quite euphemistic all the time is basically like not accurately defining like the situation that's taking place or what the person is or has done? But
I don't blame anyone for doing that.
Okay.
Because I just think it's kind of natural to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But have you guys ever come across... You must have come across pick-me's.
Yeah. But now everyone's too afraid of being a pick-me, and that's like...
What do you mean?
Hmm?
What do you mean everyone's too afraid?
Everyone's too afraid? As in, like, everyone's so afraid of being a pick-me that they actually end up being a pick-me anyway.
Oh, trying to overcompensate.
Yeah. Because it's so used. Everyone's scared. Like, every girl is scared of being a pick-me. Like, just embrace it at this point, because realistically, you're doing too much now.
I feel like the place it's weird because outside of social media, like I feel maybe I'm chronically online now. I have to reevaluate my behavior. But no, I was like outside of social media, I see like a hesitancy in the subject when I feel like I notice it and people are trying to bring it up. But on social media, obviously, like I used to see the discourse all the time, but sometimes I like going back to what I thought was like accurately defining it or not. Sometimes I used to just see it like just assigned to anyone. Yeah, I'll be like, okay, they're caping for somebody, but I wouldn't necessarily call them a pick me. Yeah, they're kind of just like, I feel, but it's difficult because I was like, because of the presence of male validation and seeking it, that's so clear to see. I was like, okay, I could call them a pick me, but then I also at the same time just like, they're just doing their thing. Some of them are just, I don't know how to say. Some of them
are just flirting.
Some of them are just built this way.
Hear me out. This is why I say it's overused. Because a pick me, think about the word. They're literally going, pick me, pick me.
Where did it come from?
Well,
it came from something, I swear.
I'm not sure. But from my understanding, when you hear pick, it's like that really irritating kid in like when you're teaching and they're like, pick me. I want to answer the question. I want your approval. Now, you can seek male validation because you can seek validation external to yourself. I think we as women have been trained to put that above everything else. But seeking out male validation isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay, but when you start to like basically step on other people's necks to do so, that's when you become a pick me, because you're like pick me over everyone else. Now, if a girl is just flirting with a man and she happens to be recorded on camera, she's not necessarily a pick me.
Do you think everybody's a pick me about in some type of way?
No, to be a pick me is to step on the necks of others.
Yeah, and also, but in the realm of pick me's, I do think there's a spectrum. Like, hear me out. I do think there are some, like, I never see someone as just, like, that thing solely. I always see it in, like, scales of severity.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously you got them people that, okay, if I'm talking about the girl side of it, that like, preach, oh, yeah, like, I'm wifey material. Oh, yeah, I'm a guy's girl. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm not... Didn't we see a couple we were watching Love is Blind yesterday. Didn't we see a couple pick-me's on Love is Blind?
I hate that show. For that I told you before it would get my blood boiling.
What did that girl say? Oh, I'll just smack your ass and then walk past and laugh. I was like, girl,
I'm so quirky. Shut up. Like, realistically, isn't that
assault? We left that in 2010. That whole, I'm so quirky.
Like, evidently not. Came back in the new decade.
We did leave it somewhere, but I was like 2010. We were only like 7 years old.
No, but that is so like Tumblr.
It's so fetch.
I'm so different.
Yeah.
But I feel like even in pop culture, more people started to get quirkier.
No, they're just weird.
They rebelled.
No, they're actually just odd. Like, stop saying
quirky and odd and weird are like...
No. Quirky is the cool side of weird.
But at this point, quirky, to call yourself quirky is corny to me now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because nobody says that. You're actually just odd, and that's okay. But like, let's not. I say quirky. No.
Like, I don't know how to feel about the word quirky. I feel like I'm a clown.
I don't even call myself.
Right, back to.
But yeah, just like I feel like you've got those people on like the massive like side of the spectrum, or maybe they just display it more overtly. But then you got some of them that it takes you a while before you find out that they're a pick me.
Those are the worst.
You got to be in a particular situation, and then all of a sudden their true colours just...
Do you know what it is? There are some people where you'll just be one-on-one of them, and they'll be great. They will be like, oh my gosh, yeah, we're cool, perfect.
Yeah.
As soon as you introduce someone that they could have like a potential
love
interest, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, do you remember insert embarrassing thing that you did?
Yeah.
Ha ha ha, that was so funny.
Like,
yeah, she
on.
did. And it's like, oh wait.
I said hair.
And the voice goes 8 octaves higher.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so
No, and there's
slow.
always the laugh and then the overly like physical contact. And
They're
I'm
like,
like,
oh my god, you're so big.
I said, I beg.
Yeah, like shut
I'm
up.
so small.
Oh, raising your hand, raising your hand.
Wait, let's compare hand sizes.
Wait, remember that video of that girl
Oh yeah, you got like pushed.
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 Like she got pushed.
She was like, "Ugh."
Air touched her. She was like, ooh, shut up. Just fucking stand up in your 4'5" self. You know what? I'm just like, realistically, I don't know why we have these conversations. I'm so small. My head's so like, why are you putting? That's so odd.
It's a bit like worrying.
It's very concerning.
But the thing is,
And the guys do it too. Nah, have you seen some of these guys dogging their brethren out?
Yeah.
It's wild.
They dog
You
their
know-
friends out, man. Boys kind of worse.
yeah. No,
There's a bit of aggression to it.
it's-
Like, fucking hell.
Remember when we went, I'm not going to say, when we went for New Year's,
Uh,
and that scene that took place in front of me,
What
yeah,
happened?
that was crazy.
that boy was like dogging out his friend to me.
Like,
Oh.
like full on.
And I said, where's the fire?
Just like chill. Like, we're all just here to have a good time.
You know
Chill
what I mean?
vibes.
And I was like, when I hear these things happen, I'm like, okay, is this meant to really actually appeal to said person? Because I can see it working for some of them, but I'm like, when it happens like to me in those type of situations, I'm like, this is not appealing. This is very cringy. This is very uncomfortable.
But have you noticed that like pick-me's never go for other pick-me's?
Yeah.
They always try to get the
They don't
people
like to
that
play in their own
dislike
group.
pick-me's.
Yeah, because they're trying to revalidate. Oh, I'm not a fit me. I'm really not a fit
Do you
me.
know how annoying that relationship would be? To observe from the outside.
What, two pick-me's?
Yes.
Oh god.
I don't think it'd be annoying. I think they would probably kill each other.
What?
Okay, I don't know if it actually
Not
go that
murder,
far.
guys. Not actual murder. Relax.
Like figuratively.
Yeah,
They'd just be exhausted.
because they're both willing to step on each other's neck. That would be a very not. It wouldn't be annoying. It would be very dangerous.
And then would it be? Or actually, let me not get. You know what? Let me save this piece for another time.
Oh, stay
Oh.
tuned. Well, guys, I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Make sure to give us a 5-star review on the streaming platform of your choice, as well as following us at the NTM Pod on Instagram and at the NTM Podcast on TikTok. With that, on with the show.
Welcome back. I know you get mad at me doing my highs and welcome backs, but it's just the best way to get
I don't
back
get
in.
mad.
Sorry, I'm not gonna assign you an emotion, but
I mean, it's okay to.
you highlighted that.
No, I don't like the highs in each portion. I like it to have diversity. That is purely selfish. It's just because when I'm editing, it's a bit repetitive.
Well, as you can see here, guys, this podcast is built on friendship. Friendship.
Why was that just a big silence?
Big. I was really trying to get into something.
Oh, sorry.
You know what? Let me just roll on to the topic. My little segue was not going to do anything today. You know, I tried.
Oh.
It's
Have you said that in like every episode?
What time is it? It's 10:27. You know what? Let me just get into it. I was like, does society actively encourage placeholder friendships?
Can we clarify what a placeholder friendship is?
Do you have a definition of that you want to give to the group?
Oh no.
I have a broader definition.
Yeah.
Placeholder friendships are just friendships that are kept to fulfill a current need, but it's not something that one individual or both individuals see as being long term. It's something to just placehold, something to just fill space until something else comes in.
Fill the time.
I think it's interesting that you highlighted that the possibility for both people to almost be not see a future in said friendship. I feel like the narrative often is communicated that it's one person that is basically not seeing a future for the friendship and the other person who's invested.
I think that's because that's the type of dynamic that probably breeds the most toxicity and drama after the friendship slowly disintegrates. But if it's both people, you're not going to hear about it realistically because they're both just like, okay, cool, bye.
That's how I felt about like some like first year friendships.
Yeah.
Like in your first year of like university, or even like if you go to a new school, or like you start work in a new place, you're gonna have placeholder friendships, people that you can just be around for the sake of being around.
Yeah, sometimes even sixth form or college, because it's only 2 quick years in comparison to like a 5-year, it's like secondary school experience.
Right.
It does feel like a bit of like
So you think when people factor in the time that they're going to be in the space, and then they coincidentally also meet new people, that almost affects the expiration of the friendship in their minds?
Yeah, I think it depends on the environment. Like, for example, like living in a flat in first year, you're gonna be friendly and you'll like make connections with people.
hopefully.
Fingers crossed, because some people have had horror stories. But if you know that, okay, you've kind of recognized, okay, cool, we can talk to each other when we bump into each other in the kitchen, but we're not going out together. We don't feel compelled to like ever really be with each other outside of the fact that we're in close proximity with each other. Then it's kind of like, oh, we can be friends for now. But there's no pressure, at least if the both of you feel this way. This is if both people. There's no pressure to kind of continue on that friendship. It's just a placeholder thing, whilst really you are waiting for something else.
And what do people, well, you know, in your own respective opinions, tend to substitute those places out for? What is the reason why they are not necessarily seeing a future? Well, it could be for multiple reasons that they don't see a future in the friendship, but what do they tend to be looking to fill that space with?
It depends. Sometimes I just see it with people when it's just like you're not going to be in the same place for a very long time. It's just a proximity thing. Sometimes it's for the people who you really wanted to be friends with in the first place. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a man.
Sometimes it's a man.
That causes the most drama.
I think because when the man comes, if we kind of narrow down that conversation, because we were just talking about pick-me's.
Okay, we're gonna go off the middle. Okay.
I feel like we should narrow down, then widen up. Because when it comes to like a girl's having placeholder, and I'm speaking specifically from a female perspective, your friend having you as a placeholder until her man comes to fill that time and space and energy, it happens, and it happens very commonly. Most people are a placeholder friend, and a lot of girls have a placeholder friend.
Do you think people struggle to, because I believe people struggle to embrace, like, because we've had a categorizing friendship episode like from last season not too long ago, and we kind of had to discuss how in that you also might have to realize where your friends stand in your lives, and like also vice versa, that you might be a placeholder friend. Do you think, like, because then I feel like there are negative connotations attached to being a placeholder, like no one would want to admit they're a placeholder in someone's life. So there's a struggle to kind of embrace that, oh, that's actually where we are in each other's life, or that's where I am in their life.
I think, it depends on the individuals, the kind of common understanding, and then the individual understandings of that friendship, as you just mentioned. Like, for example, I know personally that there are some friends where I am the placeholder friend. But I am okay with that. Because I don't put too much energy into those friendships, and there's a sort of, for some people, spoken understanding, because you know me, I'ma speak with you. For others, a kind of unspoken understanding that as soon as a significant other comes into your life, you are the type of person that will prioritize that, and so naturally my place will be filled. And it's not just my place. A lot of people have multiple placeholder friends. That they will kind of be like, okay, your time's up now. And bring in that significant other in this example. It could be career. It could be a lot of things. But if you have an understanding of that, it won't hurt you. But if you are now invested in that, and that person is not also a placeholder for you,
awkward. I think though, okay, I've been on the receiving end of low-key being a placeholder friend, the friend also simultaneously put me in their business, as in wanting me to invest in their relationship.
Right.
Because how do you... This is a big question.
And I was like,
how do
I
you
just need to know let me step back. I don't know why you keep pulling me back in.
You've made a good point.
Yeah,
how do you... I think also the difficulty in maybe for people to be able to accept that they're a placeholder friend, like you said, it's because there's a lack of communication and clarification about the friendships, and there's like their actions and their words aren't aligned. Because how do you do a placeholder friendship the right way? And it's hard to
there's a
say
yo-yo effect normally.
Yeah.
Like there's in the placeholder friendships, which is why I think people get so irritated because you fill the void. Okay, let's talk specifically about this. You fill the void with a significant other, but then when that significant other is like doing something or like pissing you off something,
you bring
now all of a
back
sudden
to
I have to be invested to hear you whine and you want advice. That's not. Hey, if I'm a placeholder, kick me out.
Well, that's the issue with being a placeholder friend. You are never fully just kicked out.
Yeah.
You have to set the boundary yourself to be like, I'm not coming back in.
Exactly.
Because once whatever you were, you know, placeholding for leaves. Oh, I can't say once. That's a bit pessimistic. But if that leaves, right, they want you back in. You got to sub back in. You got to get your team jersey and you got to stand back and cheer for them again.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like,
that's the thing.
you don't want to be... There's a problem because, like I said, like in doing placeholder friendships the right way, once place is filled, sayonara to the person who was filling it prior. But my whole thing is as well, let's say, no disrespect, it's life.
It's what it is,
it's
like.
life. But at the same time, like, you do not want to now become like an unspoken third party in the relationship, like someone to call upon when the other person is out, or when you're having issues with the person, or when you're having issues with the person, because at that point the respect is gone. You're actually using the person.
But
my jersey is retired. I'm so sorry.
Well, here's something that this little pattern. Let me know if you guys, because this is just an unfleshed out kind of thought nugget in my mind.
Yeah.
But sometimes, when it comes to like placeholder friendships, especially like like female friends who kind of are subbing you out for their man, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes, don't you think that they want to gloat that they've got it?
Yeah.
So they keep you around.
Yeah.
So they
Just
have
shove it in
someone
your
to
face.
tell.
Yeah. You both know I've been on the receiving end of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
when they're
it.
belling your line,
And they're like, he's done X little thing,
and then,
or this happened to us, or how do I respond? And it's like, ooh.
And then I've been in situations where it's not just about the friend I had previously, using me like in a way like to like almost they've gotten a significant other, and then every time they're having issues with them, I'm called to the line, and I have to also be balanced in my accountability and be like, well, I walked to the line at the same time. But it's when it's okay, I'm thinking to myself, this is not right, and then it's doubly cheeky when the man starts doing it. They establish some level of communication. They're like, oh wait, I'm having issues with this, as if you've now become a mediator between the two.
Well, yeah, they use you as as the single friend. Sometimes when you're the placeholder single friend, and you know what? I would argue for placeholder friends that are in relationships too.
Yeah.
You get pushed into this relationship guru position. That you have a use. People who actively, gain placeholder friends will always find a use for you in their life. And it's never great for you.
Yeah.
No. You know what? I have the most unbalanced thinking when it comes to this. Because I'm so rigid. I'm like, okay, if I'm a placeholder, that's fine. But once you retire me, I'm not clocking back in. So you get someone else on the roster. I'm not clocking back in.
Like the boundaries are not on it.
No,
and
I'm not doing it.
If you at the same time conduct yourself like they're a placeholder friend, and you're literally demonstrating a level of space and and I think it's just because sometimes in my head, you do more placeholder than friend, as in the dynamic doesn't feel like a friendship. It feels like like you're just constantly like pulling someone in and out for work.
Yeah, but because and here's we're talking about kind of how it feels.
Yeah,
but ultimately, to have placeholder friends in this way is so malicious.
you know,
it's so malicious.
it's not great, man.
You know what I find like more like worse though?
What?
I've been a placeholder friend for someone who then wanted to get in with a certain group of different friends. Now, listen.
When you introduce them,
I would rather you sub in a man. Don't piss me off. I've had this before. I'm very big on like loyalty, especially when you're subbing the group in that I don't particularly like and they don't particularly like me. So why would we placeholder friends?
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah.
That infuriates me more than if you sub me for a man. I'm like, oh.
Because sever the tie. Sever the tie.
know?
Because that's when I feel like you're trying to make a person suffer now.
Oh, suffer.
Suffer in the sense like, I'm a bit dramatic. Not necessarily suffer, but like you were talking about malice and stuff like that. Like, it's when these people are such dafties, man. Like, you should be able you should be able to clue into your head things that don't make a person feel comfortable.
They don't care.
Like, the thing is, it's not about caring. You should clue into your head, like, that obviously that's where the malice comes from.
I know.
And then it's just, sorry, I'm repeating it again because I'm feeling it in my soul.
Oh.
Like in terms of like, the like, basically, without that person that you made as a placeholder, what were you doing? You are milling about the place. You had nowhere to go. Realistically, you brought that placeholder friend in. That placeholder friend is doing, what a placeholder friend does, and then insult on top of injury, as well as like bothering them, bringing them in and out, and then saying that, okay, realistically, you're a placeholder for whatever's coming next. You bring into the fold the thing, as well as ditching them as a placeholder, you bring into the fold the thing that's supposed to frustrate them.
I think, do you know what's so interesting?
Absolutely not.
Because I was journaling about this. And I'm going to be quite vulnerable here, guys. I realised the reason why I held a lot of resentment for relationships, and I was quite pessimistic about relationships, was because I was the placeholder friend to facilitate relationships. I had to sit with that.
No, because you know something, at the end of the day, I'll feel something a lot in the moment and then I'll let it pass. The ones that have lingered, you've hit the nail on the head.
Honestly, when you are... And it's hard not to resent relationships if you are being subbed in and out for them.
Resentment is bad, you know. We're not talking light.
No. I'm talking heavy resentment. And you won't even realise, because the thing is, I had to clock where I was like, oh, you were projecting your energy too much in this situation.
Yeah.
Where I didn't like certain relationships.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily.
Because
some of them were actually...
Yeah. That's not necessarily what they've got going on. But because of how
because of how I felt.
How you suffered.
Because of that.
Yes.
Suffered.
Sorry, I had to bring the word back into the fold.
So it was like, you do have this resentment. And look, in one particular one.
Yeah.
Look, I was making points. But those points, I had to recognize
Messenger.
myself. Do you know what I mean?
You know.
I was like, oh, you're saying these things not because you want to help. It's because you do feel a level of resentment. That girl has chosen him over you.
Yeah.
And that's the issue of being a placeholder friend. You are consistently being shown that you are not worthy to be chosen.
And we have a healing season, healing episode this season.
We're not healed.
I would suggest listening to that recording, because you know something. I'm not in my head like this because I know when I haven't necessarily begun embracing or unpacking my feelings associated to said event. Oh, best believe when the new friendships come up. If it's surface level, it's calm. You're not, you know. But the deep friendships, that ish will show up.
It will.
It will show up.
And you've got to accept it when it does.
Yes.
Because you never think, I think honestly, the friendships you formed in your adolescence, will mess you up.
They
for life.
will. They will.
Yeah.
They will.
And it's like, I truly think when you become a placeholder friend, you become so insecure in not being chosen.
Yeah.
That
the way that
guys.
shows up, honey. Because you know something as well that I want to say. I do think, going back to your point about adolescent friendships, I believe no adolescent friendship is perfect in its at all, especially when you're growing and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the friendships that I have now that have followed me all the way since I was like, you know, at the start of my preteens or teens or even before primary school, those are friendships I had to grow with. We are all, I would say, not like different as in like I don't recognize them, but there's a lot of difference between us now and then. And then there's certain friendships you just couldn't grow with. They hit dead ends.
Yeah.
Wait, so then, okay, I have a question. Do you think that in some cases being a consistent placeholder friend develops a person into a pick-me?
Because they're seeking validation.
Because they haven't been chosen for. If it's been for the whole life, oh my god. No, guys, I'm actually shocked at how croaky my voice went. Because I have quite a naturally
That was a whole different person.
high voice. It's not getting there today.
But it's a good. Do you know what? Ooh, you know me. I'm gonna bring some intersectionality into this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can, but it also. I'm gonna be real now. I think it also depends on how desirable you are seen in society and how you take that. I think if you are seen as more conventionally attractive to kind of Eurocentric features, you could go down the pick-me route. Yeah. If you are not, it can go both ways. And I've seen it. Ooh, I've seen it.
Oh, sorry.
Some of them do go down the pick-me route because they need that validation. And I completely understand. Some of them shut themselves off.
Because I want to add something. I feel like the commonality here between the two is insecurity. And to an extent, a lack of comfortability with self, potentially. So my whole thing is, like, either way you spin it, you're going to end up with a really insecure person.
Wow.
And that is not to hate on you.
No.
That's not to hate on you at
We're
all.
all insecure.
But like, consider what a person, if that was a situation for someone, has been subjected to time after time after time. That is going to render an effect absolutely inevitable.
Wait, so in the spectrum of insecurity, is one end placeholder, one end pick me?
But you can be a placeholder friend and a pick me.
Yeah.
They're not like mutually exclusive. But I think
it's a skip.
Some people are kind of gonna go down the pick me route because being the placeholder friend,
quite what's the word? Damaging,
and a lot of people don't understand that they're in a placeholder friendship. They think it was just a friendship. I think the minute I understood that I was replaceable, I was like, oh,
you either take it or you don't take it.
Yeah.
Because even if I fall out with a friend, like a current friend of mine, they're not replaceable. That person was my friend. I can have new friends, but it won't replace the like presence that individual person had in your life. With placeholder friends, you can sub them in and out. Easy. No problem.
Exactly.
Well, like subbing.
But
I really don't. I don't like subbing. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, really, this is really getting to me, and it's only fucking 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't do subliminals around here. But no, I was gonna say, like, going back to my first, even though we've actually had just a full conversation about so many aspects to it, but do you feel like society actively encourages pick-me's? Like, how do they go about it? Obviously, you're upholding.
Well, society is based on patriarchy, you know.
Yeah. So you're upholding.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think we're all taught to be pick-me's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to unlearn or not. I don't know.
Oh wait, you were all. Okay. You said we're all taught to be, not that we all start out as it.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone starts out wanting validation from... No, I do think we do want external validation, but I think it's how much we're taught to put emphasis and priority on men as women.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we love talking about the nuclear family. Ultimately, when you think about how society is like priming us for the future, they talk about having, you know,
Kids.
your partner, your 2 kids, so you can go to Disneyland, Florida for like a nice weekend. Pick-me's are a direct correlation to trying to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
They're byproduct.
So it's like, eek.
Which is why, you know what, I feel like sometimes people
No, that's a bit early.
I think people criticize when people want to, you hear other women say they want to be a stay-at-home mum.
I don't care.
I don't care.
You.
I don't care, but I think
in this society where this economy is crippling
no,
us
but
and you can't find joy in your life.
No, but people's ear hear, oh, you're a pick-me because you want a type of
close-minded
nuclear family. No, I don't think they're closed-minded. I think that's what they hear, and because everyone's so scared of being a pick-me.
Well, that's why. Don't be afraid to open up dialogue. Like really get into it. Don't just leave it. Don't just leave it there. I mean, I know it's in their head, but yeah, don't just leave it there now.
No. Anyway, my mouth is dry, so I'm done talking.
Oh,
okay. On a better note, yeah.
Okay, people, I've been Nelle.
I've been Tammie.
And I've been Mara.
And this has been the Not Too Much podcast. If you didn't know before,
you know now. You're a pick-me. You're a pick-me. You're a pick-me. You're a pick-me. Hey, you're a pick-me. Oh, you're a pick-me. Oh, a placeholder. 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 You're a pick. You're a pick-me. Or a placeholder, you're a pick-me. Or a placeholder, you're a pick-me. Or a placeholder, you're a placeholder in your life. Placeholder in your life. Placeholder in your life. Insecurity. Placeholder in your life is a placeholder in your life. In placeholder in your life, it breeds insecurity. Ooh.